Alright, so I want to make a video updating everyone as usual, and then get into some other big stuff. And like I say, there is always, as always, there's some pretty good stories to go over. So, Canada's up to 75,065 confirmed cases, 5,596 deaths. Alberta's up to 6,587 confirmed cases. We had 72 yesterday, which is slightly above what we've had over the last couple weeks. But again, we still had about 40, 50 more people recover than actually test positive. So it seems every day we're having about 100 to 150 people recover, and then you just minus the amount of people that actually get it to figure out the amount of people that are actually recovering compared to actually getting it. So like I say, the active cases continue to go down. We're down to 8 people in the ICU in the whole province. So again, those are the people whose lives are at risk. Um, that other than that, pretty much everybody, I would be very surprised if they live, because usually it's just the people that end up on ventilators that die. So we're basically doing all of this just to save the lives of a handful of people. Now I understand, again, people are going to twist that to saying, "Oh, you want those people to die." No, I want the hundreds of thousands of unemployed, depressed Albertans to be able to go back to work, and we can let the people who want to sit and cower in fear, uh, and the people who are actually have something to worry about, let them quarantine. Like I don't understand why we have to keep going over this, but like I say, I know most of the people watching probably understand this, but why we have to keep going over the fact that the immunocompromised and the older people and the people with underlying health conditions, it affects them in no way, shape, or form whether or not healthy people go back to work. It affects them in no way, shape, or form. So, this whole keeping everything locked down, or at least most things now, it does nothing. Like I say, it does literally nothing. And one of the big problems is that the other problem that the keep it locked down or we're all going to die crowd assumes, I don't understand why, because they don't even believe their own theory, but they assume this because I've heard a lot of people literally argue this, which I didn't believe off the start, but considering how many people believe this, I have to run with it. And that they think that everything's going to go back to normal and people are just going to be going on in public the same way they did. Everything's going to go right back to normal, and that's not going to happen. A lot of businesses are not going to be able to reopen, or they will, and they will go out of business. Things are going to become increasingly automated. Things are going to, shopping is going to be increasingly done online. Um, so a lot of in-person retail stores are not going to exist, or at least not to the degree that they did before. So the idea that, oh, if we go back to normal, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's going to be a lot of people that think that the doomsday second wave is coming, and we're all going to die when this second wave comes. Which apparently, the first wave was supposed to be doomsday, which it never was, not even close. So that's, like I say, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm still trying to come up with realistic reasons to why we should keep things closed down. Like, honestly, it makes no sense whatsoever. And like I brought it up yesterday about Kenny in Alberta, and I'm like, you're losing support. Like, you're losing a lot of support by not just reopening things. And the one thing that I want to point out is there's a lot of people that don't really understand, like, specific. I mean, left wingers especially, but right wingers as well. Is that they think that being a politician's a lot easier than it is. Like, let's say it's the classic, socialist and all these kind of people that think that business owners are these greedy, corrupt capitalists that all they care about is making money, but yet they've never ran a business. They've never talked to someone who runs a business. So they just assume things, and that's the problem. Is that I understand if you're Jason Kenney, that no matter that if you reopen things, there's going to be a lot of pushback. That if there is an increase in cases, it's going to be your you know what. But on the other hand, no matter what you do, people are going to hate you for it. Like I say, if the when we come out of this with a terrible economy, they're going to blame you for it too. And everybody who loses their jobs, everybody who commits suicide, everybody who loses their house, they're going to blame it on Jason Kenney. So that this is why I don't understand why they insist on doing things the way they're doing it, because no matter what you do, you're going to get the blame for it. And if he wants to get reelected, he's going to need a good economy, because the better the economy is, the less people want to pay more taxes. And the NDP wants socialism. So if you really want to get reelected, then it's in your best interest to open pretty much everything back up, aside from old folks' homes and anybody who wants to sit at home and cower in fear and still thinks this is a doomsday virus. Go ahead. And like I said, this is why there's so much animosity and so much tension in this whole area, is that the keep it locked down or we're all going to die crowd wants to shove their ideology and their worldview down everybody else's throats. Again, too, the left hates Christians for this. Oh, you can't send your kid to a Christian school. You can't let people Christians do whatever, because they want to brainwash you. They want to shove their ideology down your throat, which is true, but to a very small extent. I think socialists and the leftists want to shove their ideology down people's throat 10 times as bad. But then all of a sudden, when like I say, when they do it, it's all of a sudden it's no big deal. Like I can't stand that. Like I can't stand that. So anyway, getting to some other important stuff here. So Justin Trudeau plans to spend $7.1 billion on abortion in Africa by 2030. Now, there's two aspects of this. Number one is the money. Number two is the abortion. A lot of people see this and be like, "Oh, I don't care about abortion. People should be able to get abortion." Now, again, I personally disagree, but regardless of what you think of abortion, it doesn't matter. The problem is the $7.1 billion. That, like I say, we have 25. That may even be a conservative number. 25% unemployment right now. We didn't even have a weak economy going into this. I don't know, even want to think about what it's going to be, a couple months from now, and we're sending almost $1 billion a year to Africa. Like I say, that's not how it works. The only way that I would be okay with governments doing stuff like this is if Justin Trudeau wants to run a balanced budget. I mean, I still wouldn't be okay with it. I would still disagree with it, but at least I can understand. Like at least I would understand. But this whole running $250 billion deficits, I mean, it's going to grow. Before we know it, it'll probably be $400 billion for this year, and turn around and send money to Africa? Like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And it's not a good deed, too. You're not spending the money on anything useful. And foreign aid doesn't even really help all that much. So the people say, oh, you're just helping the poor Africans. What do you got against them? You want them to die? No, that's not what I want. For starters, I probably spent a heck of a lot more time helping out poor people in my life than anyone criticizing me. I can pretty much guarantee that. And like I say, foreign aid does not work. It doesn't work. It just encourages more bad decisions. The only thing that would work is if you help develop local economies. If you gave people, low interest loans to start businesses. If you helped, increase the new people, educate people on nutrition, because the more a lot of these people are very poor because of malnutrition. They die early because of malnutrition. And if you can get these people more educated on nutrition, and so they can grow and produce their own foods, then that would increase the average level of intelligence, which would increase the GDP, which would increase everything. But the problem is that all we seem to be worried about is just shoot them money so it makes us look good, which a lot of these tin pot dictators and the elites of these countries siphon off most of it for themselves. And like I say, Justin Trudeau gets to look good and have his cameos and pictures where he's, oh yeah, yeah, I sent money to Africa. Look at me. Look at how good I am. In reality, most of that money is just going to the leaders of those countries so they can blow on their own, selfish endeavors. And the Trudeau Foundation probably gets a kickback from that. So anyway, this is from Andrew Pollack, and he goes on to say, first, San Francisco allowed illegals to vote in local elections. Then state Democrats pushed a bill to allow illegals to serve in the party. Now California will send voters a mail-in ballot for the election in November. If you don't see this, where it's going, wake up. Well, it's like I say too, that this is how the left does everything with gun control. It's step by step by step by step, and before you know it, all the guns are banned. Without immigration, it's, oh, we just need immigration to help the economy. And then when it's obvious that the immigration doesn't help the economy, it's, oh, we just need to help the poor people. Don't you want to help poor people? And then it's, oh, well, now they should be able to vote, and then, oh, now they should be able to steal jobs and undercut the local job markets. And then, oh, now they need to be able to vote. And like I say, they're they can't win elections by playing the rules fairly, so they have to stack the deck. That's what immigration is. It's just stacking the deck for the left. And anybody who isn't on the left, who isn't speaking out about this, you might as well just forget about politics, because you're not doing anything. The worst thing that's happened for right wing, the right wing ideology and the non leftist ideology over the last 25 years is immigration. It's immigration, because if immigration would have been kept at levels that are actually sustainable, and by sustainable I mean you only have immigration when there's job surpluses, uh, the left would have a very tough time still winning elections. And the only way they'd be able to do it is to be actual moderates. And I mean actual moderates, not like now you have these people who are full on socialists claiming they're moderates. I mean like actual, like, you know, like the conservatives in Canada are right now, basically. Would be a good comparison, to be honest. But like I say, that's something that's crazy. And the minute that they can get this through, they're going to push for open borders. And when they get open borders, it's literally guaranteed Democrats are going to win every election, because when they get open border, I mean, they kind of have open borders right now. Depending on the state, they basically allow you to come in. They won't do anything to you if you're caught. I mean, they won't even try to catch you. So a lot of states have de facto open borders, but if Democrats get elected, I don't think Biden will, but maybe in 2024, the states is done. Like the states is going down the same road as Canada. Like people think that the states is this bastion of a free market, and crazy right wingers. All like, it's not true. Like I would say there's a little bit behind us, but the states is going towards socialism unless they can get a handle on immigration too. Canada is a little sooner, but the states is as well. This is from Clay Travis. He goes on to say Arizona has begun antibody testing in their state. So far, 3.5 have tested positive. That would mean 255,500 have had the virus in the state, as opposed to 10,526 who have tested positive, a 25 times factor, which drives the death rate down to 0.2%. That is 99.8% of all infected people recovered. Now, this is something I've been talking about, but I wanted to bring it up because this is just another area that has proven the whole 3-4% number wrong, and the 0.2% number ish that I've been citing to be perfectly correct. So, again, I just wanted to bring that up. Like I said, there's multiple other studies from countries and states and universities that show this. So the numbers out of France show about 0.1, 0.2%. The Icelandic one, the Stanford one, tons of them have shown this number. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is that there's still so many people out there that still think that the whole 3, 4, 5% number is what the actual number is, and that's BS. That's wrong. We've known that for like a month now, maybe even a little more. But yet there's still people that believe this kind of crap. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. And the last thing I wanted to talk about here is something that happened about a week ago, but I just kind of came across it, and there's been some other stuff, important stuff to talk about, so I wanted to talk about it now. So this kind of stuff has been happening all over the place, but a lot of when I bring this kind of stuff up, there's still some people that think, "Oh, this isn't going on. What are you talking about?" Um, Now this is in Australia, but this kind of stuff has happened all across the world. And in the states, like I said, there's been people swimming in the ocean that have got ticketed or arrested. I don't remember exactly. There was a kid playing basketball alone in Ontario that got ticketed. I think it was like $800 too, which is insane. So the kind of people saying, "Oh, that's not going on," yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So it's stop. You're just lying. You're either a complete idiot or you're just lying. Um, but anyway, like I said, this mom was just playing with her kid in a park, and she got arrested for it. Like, did these people honestly not think that when you go home, you're not going to be touching your kids and your spouse and like everyone? Like, are they honestly that stupid? And I refuse to believe that. So the common or the most likely scenario here is that they're just totalitarians. They want this police state crackdown, and it's something that we need to speak out about as a society. I don't get why people are so gung ho on this. I mean, I do understand because the vast majority of the population are just sheeple who will do whatever the government tells them to do. But again, I wanted to bring it up because I guess the goal I would say would be to, if I could just wake up one person, then that would be an honest day's work. I guess would be the best way of putting it. So uh, anyway, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my PayPal and email. I got linked in the description. Again, I appreciate any donations, but at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And last couple things, as always, check out my BitChute and my Twitter. Again, everything's linked in the description, so you can check it out there.